Studies show that over 60% of dog owners believe their dog is happy and feels fully understood. But behaviorists who study canine communication say something that should stop every single one of those owners cold. Most dogs spend their entire lives trying to tell the person they love something deeply important. And most owners never receive that message. Not once. Not even close. So here is the question that should be sitting heavy in your chest right now. If your dog has been speaking to you every single day, what exactly have you been missing? And what has it been costing them? The answer is not about walks. It is not about food, or toys, or how many commands your dog knows. It is something far quieter than that. Something most owners would never think to look for. And by the time this video is over, you are going to see your dog completely differently. Stay with me. Because what is coming at number 4 is the one that changes people the most. Most owners who reach that point tell us the same thing. They had no idea. Not even a little. 1. Stop staring your dog down when they do something wrong. You know exactly the moment I am describing. Your dog has done something they should not have. Maybe they chewed something. Maybe they knocked something over. Maybe they took something off the table. You turn around, you find them, and without even thinking, you lock eyes with them. Long, firm, unblinking. You use their name in that tone, the one that says you are in serious trouble right now. You believe you are communicating disappointment. Your dog is experiencing something completely different. In canine social language, a hard, sustained, direct stare is not a correction. It is a threat display. It is the exact same signal a dominant animal uses when it is about to initiate a confrontation. Your dog's nervous system does not register that look as my owner is disappointed in me. It registers it as something dangerous is about to happen. That freeze you sometimes see, the dog going completely still, head lowered, eyes looking up at you from below. That is not guilt. Researchers have documented this extensively, and the conclusion is clear. That is appeasement behavior. That is your dog using every tool in their body language vocabulary to say one thing. Please, do not escalate this. I am not a threat. I am trying to make this stop. And here is what that does to your dog over time. Research published in the Journal of Veterinary Behavior found that dogs who experienced frequent confrontational interactions with their owners, even unintentional ones, showed significantly higher baseline anxiety levels. They were also less likely to approach their owner voluntarily in calm, neutral situations. They are not scared of you exactly. They are just never fully certain what version of you they are about to meet. The solution is not complicated. Redirect instead of stare. Move calmly instead of looming over them. Use your voice to interrupt the behavior, not your eyes to challenge the animal. Because the dog you want, the one who is relaxed around you, who chooses to stay near you, who trusts you completely. That dog cannot exist if part of them is always calculating whether your next moment of eye contact is safe or dangerous. 2, when they come to check on you, let them finish. This one sounds small. It is not small. Your dog walks over to you while you are sitting quietly. They approach slowly. They sniff your hand. They press their nose briefly against your arm or the side of your face. What they are doing in that moment is gathering information. They are checking your chemistry, running a quiet, careful assessment of how you are actually doing, and most owners, without thinking, Immediately reach out and start petting them. It feels like the natural response. It feels like connection. But from your dog's perspective, you just interrupted a sentence they were in the middle of saying. Dogs assess the people they are bonded to through scent and physical proximity in a way that goes far deeper than most owners ever realize. Your body chemistry tells them things your face never could. Whether you are stressed, whether you are unwell, whether you are emotionally off balance or genuinely fine. That check-in is deliberate. It is purposeful. It is your dog doing something that is genuinely important to them. When you immediately convert that moment into a petting session, you shift the entire dynamic. You make it about your need to touch them rather than their need to understand you. Try something different next time. When your dog comes over and initiates that kind of quiet, still check in. Keep your hands where they are. Let them finish. Let them take whatever time they need. And only after they have completed what they came to do. Only after they settle against you. Or look up at you. Or simply stand there satisfied. Then respond. The difference you will feel in those moments is remarkable. Because you finally allowed them to complete the thing they came to do. And a dog who is allowed to finish their sentences eventually starts saying more of them. 3. Let them know when something difficult is coming. Here is something we do to dogs every single day that we would never do to another person we genuinely cared about. We change their world without any warning. A new baby arriving, moving to a different house, a family member leaving, a new pet entering the home, surgery, a season of your life where your schedule changes completely, a holiday where someone else will be caring for them. For you, these events come wrapped in context. You have time to mentally prepare. You understand the shape of what is coming. For your dog, these things simply happen. One day the world is one way. The next day, it is something else entirely. And they have no framework to explain the shift, no language to ask what is happening, and no way to know whether what has changed is permanent or temporary. A study from researchers at Stockholm University found that dogs experience significantly higher cortisol levels during periods of household disruption. And the stress response was notably more severe when the disruption arrived suddenly rather than gradually. You cannot explain a house move to your dog using words, but you can change how you behave in the weeks before it happens. You can take them to the new home before moving day. You can let them explore the change at their own pace, in their own time. You can hold steady the parts of your routine that are most anchored to their sense of safety, even when everything else is shifting around them. What you should not do is what most owners do, which is nothing. Because they assume their dog will simply adjust. And sometimes they do adjust. But the cost of that adjustment, the anxiety, the disrupted sleep, the stress hormones that remain elevated for weeks, is real. And it is entirely invisible to the people who caused it. Your dog has been waiting their whole life for you to understand that change is not neutral for them. Even a small gesture, staying consistent in the things that matter most when everything else is in flux, is a form of care that reaches them in ways almost nothing else can. 4. Let them say no. This is the one. Your dog has a vocabulary, a real one. Not words, body language, posture, movement, micro signals that are documented and consistent and deeply meaningful. And within that vocabulary, they have a clear, unmistakable way of saying not right now. I do not want this. Please stop. The head turning away, the lip lick, The slight lean backward, the yawn that comes at an unexpected moment, the body that goes still instead of soft. These are not random. These are sentences, and most owners do not simply miss them. They actively override them. The child who wants to hug the dog, and the dog whose entire body is communicating, "No, please." And the owner who says, "Go ahead." He loves it. The grooming session where the dog is giving every possible signal of discomfort, and the owner who keeps going because it simply needs to be done. The stranger who reaches for the dog's head, and the owner who says, "Sorry." He is just shy, but does not step in. Every single time this happens, your dog learns something. Their communication does not work. The signals they send do not produce results. And over time, a dog who has learned that their signals do not matter stops sending them clearly. Research from the University of Bristol School of Veterinary Sciences found that dogs with more autonomy over physical interactions showed fewer anxiety behaviors and formed significantly stronger voluntary bonds with their handlers, compared to dogs in interactions that were controlled entirely by the human. Less control from you, more trust from them. This is what your dog has been waiting for their entire life. Not for you to be perfect, not for you to be trained or knowledgeable or to always use the right commands. For you to listen when they speak. For you to hear a no and honor it. Because a dog who trusts that their no will be respected does not need to escalate. They do not need to growl. They do not need to snap. They do not need to shut down entirely. They can communicate quietly in the earliest and softest signal available to them, and know with certainty that it will land. That is not a dog being managed. That is a dog who feels safe enough to tell you the truth. 5. Be the same person every day. Not perfect. The same. Your dog does not need you to be endlessly patient. They do not need you to never have a bad day. They do not need you to always be available or to provide constant stimulation and entertainment. What they need is to be able to predict you. Research into canine stress and owner behavior has consistently found that unpredictability in the primary owner, not harshness, not neglect, but simple inconsistency, is among the strongest predictors of chronic anxiety in domestic dogs. An owner who is warm and present one day and distracted and unavailable the next, who plays enthusiastically on the weekend and ignores them completely during the week, who sets rules that shift depending on their mood. To a dog, that unpredictability is exhausting because they cannot map you. And if they cannot map you, they cannot fully relax around you. Not in the way that allows them to be the dog they are genuinely trying to be. The version of your dog you most want to see, loose and present and open and trusting, can only exist when their nervous system has decided it is safe to stop monitoring. And monitoring only stops when the person being watched has become predictable enough to trust. You do not need to be an extraordinary owner. You need to be a consistent one. Show up the same way, most of the time, in the moments that matter most to them. Feed them around the same time each day. Walk them with the same patience you brought yesterday. Respond to their signals with the same attention, regardless of how your day went. Your dog has been waiting their whole life for the version of you that is always the version you are. Not the best version. Just the reliable one. If this video gave you something, a new way of seeing your dog, or a moment that made you pause and truly think, then do one thing before you leave. Hit like, drop a comment, and tell us which of the 5 you are going to change first. And subscribe so you do not miss what we are putting out next. Because the more you understand your dog, the better life becomes for both of you. And that is always worth showing up for.